Welcome back to my channel, guys. Next in food, I am your diva chef Simone Walkerberry, and today's tutorial is all about how to make Jamaican fruit cake. Some people refer to it as Christmas cake, some people even call it Jamaican black cake, but in my household we call it fruit cake. All right, so I want to show you how simple it is to make this cake. I'm going to be using what I call the blender method. So let's get started. Let's look at some of the ingredients that you need to have if you want to make Jamaican fruit cake. So in this container, I have some dried raisins, prunes, and currant. And this is soaked in a red label wine. It's a fruit wine that we love in Jamaica. And we also mix some rum in there. So this is what that is. You also going to need flour, a little bit of breadcrumb, sugar for sweet, butter, eggs, more wine, and of course caramel for color, and lots of spices, both liquid spice and dry spices. You will also need baking powder and baking soda. So let me show you how easy it is to make Jamaican fruit cake. Okay guys, so first you need to soak and chop your fruits. I soak my fruits days in advance, sometimes months, or you can do a quick soak, which we refer to as simply washing the fruits and bringing them to a boil with the wine, then turn it off and add the rum, and then you just leave it to quick soak for a couple hours or overnight. So this one was soaking for a while, so we like it chopped up, so you can chop it in a blender or in a food processor like I'm doing. All right guys, so this is chopped as coarse as I like. Remember now, you can chop it as fine or as coarse as you want, but I like it a little chunky. So this is what it looks like after I pulse it for a few seconds in my food processor. So now on to step 2. Okay, so step 2 guys, we're going to mix our eggs, sugar, and butter in the blender. So in goes 4 eggs. Then we're gonna add our sugar. I like to use brown sugar. And then we add butter. Make sure your butter is at room temperature. And also some of the wine. So what we're doing here, we're creating an emulsion in the blender. So here goes. So on medium, I'm going to pulse this. Okay guys, so now that our sugar, egg, wine, and butter is thoroughly mixed in the blender, you just pour it into a bowl. Remember now we're doing the blender method. So this part counts as the liquid aspect of the cake. And to this, we're going to be adding all our liquid spices. We're adding in some vanilla, rosewater, lime juice, almond flavoring. This is something that my family love. This is strawberry flavoring. That's totally optional. We're adding in also the zest of a lime. We will add some rum in and caramel. Now the caramel is very important. The caramel is what gives the pudding its signature dark color. And in Jamaica, we refer to the caramel as browning. Now, how brown it is, it depends on you. So I don't like it overly black brown. I just like a nice chocolate brown like what you're seeing here. Then to this, we add the puree fruits. See how easy I'm making this fruit cake for you. And then this is our liquid part of our fruit cake. So eggs, butter, sugar, wine, liquid spices, and puree fruits. And now for the other step, we're going to be combining all our dry ingredients together, and then we will add it to the wet ingredient. For dry ingredients, we're going to need flour, breadcrumb. I like to use breadcrumb in there. I like the flavor it brings. Baking soda. I'm using baking soda because I'm using the blender method. I'm using the easy method, so the baking powder will give my fruit cake a second rise. And I'm also using baking powder, freshly grated nutmeg, cinnamon powder, and of course some salt. Now you want to use a whisk and just combine everything into a bowl. What the whisk does, it acts almost like a sieve. It's aerating the flour and mixing in everything. It's getting rid of lumps that might have been in the baking powder, the flour, or the baking soda. So make sure that you combine everything. You don't want to have clumps of baking powder or baking soda. And please remember that a sieve will do just fine. I'm just using a whisk because it is very convenient for me. All right, so it's time to put it all together. By doing so, we're going to be adding the dry ingredient directly to the wet ingredient. Okay guys, so on to step 4. We're adding our dry ingredient in. So you just want to add it in one part and just cut and fold it in. This is the color and consistency you want your fruit cake to have. Now the fruit, if you like your fruit cake very heavy, you could add more flour and more fruits, but this recipe always worked for me, so I'll post it in the description below so you can follow along. And this is my little test. I like to just stand the wooden spoon up. Once it stands up, I know that I'm good to go. Walk away, or just pour it into your pan, put it in a 350-degree oven, and that's all there is to your fruit cake. So let's put it into our pan. I'm using a bundt pan because I like the look of it. Okay, and this is a 9-inch round. So I'm just gonna pour my cake batter in. And by the way, this will give me 2 8-inch round cakes. Now let me tell you a little secret about fruit cake. Wherever you put it in the pan, that's where it is going to remain. It's a cake that is on the heavy side. It doesn't rise a lot, so you can fill the pan up. But I don't like to fill the pan up because it takes longer to bake that way. So I'm just going to do 3/4 full. And here it is. This is what Jamaican fruit cake look like. I'm going to bake it. This is going to take us between 50 minutes to an hour and 10 minutes at 350. You can also steam bake your cake, and by doing so, you put a container with water on the lowest rack in your oven, and then you put the cake above that rack of water, and that's what I refer to as steam bake. So either way, whether you're just going to bake it in the oven without the water or you're going to steam bake, sometimes some Jamaicans like to cover it with aluminum foil. I'm not doing that for this one. We're just going to put it in the oven. Come with me to the oven. Let me show you where in the oven I place it. And we're going to let this cake bake for 50 minutes or a little longer. So guys, our fruit cake is ready. It took 50 minutes. Just gonna pull it out. Please note, if you're using a smaller pan, it will take less time. So these are some miniature one that I got with some of the leftover batter. But this is the star right here. So for tests, you want to just insert a toothpick, or in this case a skewer, and if it comes out fairly clean, it's a heavy kind of cake, so it's not going to be super clean, but this is the test that we do. You want to just stick it. No uncooked pieces should come out, and this is how you know that it is ready. So now, one of the other things that we do to the cake while it is still hot is pour a little bit of extra rum and wine on it, and I like to combine the wine and the rum. You want to do this while the cake is still hot. That way it will just absorb the rum and wine. If you do it when it is cold, it's going to really make your cake soggy, so make sure to do it while it's still hot. All right, so this is a little extra touch that we do. Add a little rum and wine over your cake, like about a 1/4 cup. It helps to just give it a little bit more rum flavor. So I like to just add some fresh rum and wine at the end. This step is totally optional. If you don't want to do it, you can leave it out. I want to thank you so much for watching. I hope you find this tutorial on how to make Jamaican fruit cake informative. What do you call it in your neck of the woods? Let me know in the comment section. We call it fruit cake in my household. I simplified for you. You can just use your blender to make it with 3 simple steps. So thank you again. I am your Diva Chef, Simone Walker Barrett. Remember to leave a comment below, tell a friend to subscribe to the channel, and tag us when you make this recipe. Let us know how it come out for you. Cheers.